There you are. Okay, I get very deep at times, so this is a more uh, light-hearted side of me, I should say. I know I talk about Monica Lewinsky's ex-boyfriend's wife running for president, but I do have a Bill Clinton joke, and it goes something like this. When Bill Clinton was president, how come Hillary wanted to have sex with him really early in the morning? Does anybody know? Because she truly wanted to be the first lady. Funny, huh? There was a guy who was in a supermarket and he was shopping. He was in the vegetable aisle, and this girl kind of smiled at him. This lady smiled at him, and she kind of waved. He was thinking to himself, "Do I know her?" And he, as they crossed paths, he said, "Hi." He said, "Do I know you?" And she said, "Yeah, I think you're the father of one of my kids." And so immediately his mind just went racing back to the only time in his life that he was unfaithful to his wife. And he said, "My God, were you that stripper at my bachelorette party um, who I made love to on a pool table while all my friends were watching while your partner slapped my ass with celery?" And she looked at him very calmly and sternly and said, "No, your son is in my class." I know that's a funny one. It's very funny. It's too funny. Um, what else? What else? What else? Um, can't think of any good jokes. Oh, I will save the best for last. And here is the best joke in the world. Let me get closer to the camera for this one. Okay. So there's this lady. Her name is Emily. She's 95 years old. And let me see if I can remember this right. She's 95 years old, and she had to drive 45 minutes to get to church. She lived out in the country. Okay. And anyway, all winter long, she didn't go. And the pastor started to get worried. So, he was telling people in the congregation, he said, "I'm going to take a ride out to her house and see how Emily's doing. I'm kind of worried about her." He wasn't sure what was going on with her. So he took a ride out there, and when he got to the door, he knocked on the door, and Emily answered. And to his surprise, she was real spry, and she said, "Oh, Pastor, it's so nice to see you. It's amazing to see you, and all this stuff." And he said, "Emily, I've been worried about you. I haven't seen you for a long time. I thought you might be sick, or somebody mentioned you might be sick." She said, "Well, Pastor, I was sick. I nearly died, but I'm much better now, and you'll be seeing me at church soon." Um, she invited him in, and she said, "Oh, I'll be right back. I'm going to go fix us some tea and cookies." So Emily's in the kitchen preparing the tea and cookies. The pastor's walking around, and he's amazed. He is amazed at all this old colonial furniture, and these old colonial chairs, and just the antiques were amazing in there. There was a big pipe organ that was in the corner that kind of caught his eye. And as he was looking over there, he said, "What is that on top of the pipe organ?" So he walked over, and there was a bowl of water, like a little fish bowl. And he looked down in it, and there was a condom floating in there. And he couldn't believe his eyes. He said, "What is Emily doing with a condom?" So he heard her start to come from the kitchen. So to save her the embarrassment, he walked really fast to his seat and sat down. And they had a nice conversation for a couple hours. And when it was time to go, the pastor said, "Emily, it was great. I really enjoyed talking to you." He said, "I'm amazed at your antiques and everything." He said, "But I have to ask you a question." He said, "What's over there on the organ in the bowl?" And she said, "Oh, She looked. She said, "Oh, that." She said, "That's a miracle, is what that is." And he said, "What do you mean?" And she said, "Well, as you know, I told you I was really sick this past winter, and I really wasn't sure if I was going to make it or not." He said, "Yeah." She said, "Well, one day I had to get a little exercise, so I was walking outside, and I'm walking along, and I'm walking on the sidewalk, and I see this package, and I bend down, I pick it up, and I read it, and it said, 'For the prevention of illness and disease, keep moist and place on your organ.'" And she said, "Pastor, I haven't been sick since." Ha ha ha. All right, come on, you got to give it to me. That one was a little bit funny. If you're still laughing, then I did my job. That's all I have to say. And we'll talk soon. Cheers.